Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another astrological video. This video is actually the Pluto tiptoes into Aquarius. So first things first, please thumbs up this video, send and share this video out. People who make you feel good, people who allow you to go and get blossoming to the person that you are destined to be, okay? Please send it and share with those groups, those organizations, and those people. Alrighties. Excellent. Please remember that you can always come on over to the Playful platform of Patreon, the Playful platform of Patreon, the Playful platform of Patreon. You can always come on over to the Playful platform of Patreon. On over to the Memory Astrologist side. All right, y'all. I love you all. You feel me? Let's take one deep breath as a collective. Let's throw it out. When we exhale that one, I want us to do like breathe out all that warm air. I want us to be very mindful of what we're eating and putting in our gut, and how our gut communicates to us, how our nerves communicate to us, how the environment communicates to us. All right, y'all. So, if you would like to send a love offering, the wish list link to Amazon is in the Linktree link in the description box below. But if you'd like to send a love offering to Cash App, excuse me, sorry you all. If you would like to send a love offering to Cash App, that link is in the description box below, okay? All right, cool, excellent. Thank you all. I love you all. Last things last, we all good. We all good. Please remember to remember. Please remember to remember. That's deep. Because we do need to remember to be honest. How are we going to be walking out here like, girl, do we really go this way? I'm really unsure. So that means we could constantly walking in circles, wasting time. But really, what does it mean to remember? Do we, we just look at it from afar? Do we look at it in disgust and shame? Do we run from remembering? Do we hide remembering? All right, you all. I just need us to be very mindful of our thoughts. I feel like this is very spiritual. It just feels so symbolic. Like symbolism is really big. I need us to be very mindful about that. All right, you all. We just jump right into this video because I have these senses. It just feels so, when like, oh yes, this is the perfect example. Do you know when you like get these goosebumps and chills, or someone say something, you get chills like, ooh, that's so relatable. Ooh, yeah, like that really touched me. You feel me? Situations like that, that is gonna be slowly but surely happening. Like aha moments, realizations. And that's the remembering part, you feel me? How we gonna have these realizations? How we gonna know what connects, you feel me? How we gonna know what connects? All right, you all, please remember to do your 3 deep cleansing breaths, okay? In from your nose, slowly out your mouth. To be open, to be aware, and to be ready for this astrological video. All right, whole time we're looking at the ascendant. And why are we looking at the ascendant? Right answers only. Why are we looking at the ascendant? Okay, just making sure. I had to make sure I'm testing you. Just making sure. So hopefully you see something on the lines of like, this is the perspective, the lens that we're looking through. You feel me? We photographers out here now. I'm not a photographer, and I'm sorry, photographers, if this is ignorance, okay? Now we out here being photographers, you feel me? And we like, all right, I'm gonna shoot the wedding, and it's like cloudy out here. We're not finna get the camera that does sun brightness. You feel me? We gonna get something that does like picks up other colors. It's all about using your resources wisely. Also your skill set. You feel me? Knowing how to what is it called? Wow, this is just in my head now. It's like slowly tiptoeing away. Knowing how it's not to fold them. My laptop's right here. I'm gonna help myself out. Girl, it don't even, you feel me? Can't even help me. It can't even help me. I feel like I'm about to go really a lot of sides in this astrology video. So I'm going to try to break it down as quickly and as easy as possible. But we're not going to really read into this chart as much. I just want us to get the overall overview so we know how to step and see and be mindful of. Okay, first things first, we need to be very specific on what we're saying and what we're listening to and what we're picking up. Because if we don't ask this if we don't ask the specific question, we're not going to get the answer that we're looking for. And also pay attention to really what's being said. You feel me? You can be talking to somebody and be like, you know what? I really wonder why the sky is blue. And they say something along the lines like, because the rainbow at the end of the... It's like that. What? Be very mindful of the people who are getting information from, their capability, their requirements, their understanding, their years, their devotion, you feel me, their maturity, their understanding. Just make sure that we're picking and choosing valid and reliable people, situations. What defines validity? What defines reliability? Let's define that in our life. You feel me? There goes the freebie. What is validity? What does that even mean? You feel me? Define it. Where that word come from? Get some etymology in here. You feel me? Get the words up in here so we can understand where this information came from, so we can understand how to use it. Okay. Alrighties. Boom. Reliability. What's valid? What's valid in life? What do you think of validity? That's tried and tested, right? Consecutively gets the same answers. Okay, wait, maybe I was talking about reliability. There it goes. It says reliability and validity. Yeah. Validity are both about how well a method measures something. So the method is our perspectives. The method is our understandings of the world. Our perspective is the ascendant, okay? We're going to be really focused on the ascendant. We're also going to be focusing on the moon here, the sun here, Pluto here, and probably Mars, to be honest. But also, we're always going to do the Aries story, so we can be very mindful about how our emotions and our subconscious and how our conscious, we need to be very mindful about that. So if we were mindful about our unconscious or our unseen motives, we can kind of sidestep a lot of situations, but also be mindful of this body and this body's movement. All right, y'all. So it says reliability refers to the consistency of a measure, whether the results can be reproduced. Oh my goodness, y'all. Dry mouth for real, for real. What's going on here? I'm looking at that moon. Where's that moon at? Can be reproduced under the same conditions. Okay, that's exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about validity. Validity refers to the accuracy of a measure. So I like that. I like this a lot because this can really pinpoint about if relationships are receptive. What does receptive really mean to oneself? What does that mean to the growing identity of you? So you may be receptive, or maybe, what is it called? Reciprocity relationships. So we have to think about what that means continuously as a developmental. So when you were probably a kid, you think of something that's the same or something that's even, is that, you go out and play with somebody. You can always go out and play with them. That's your friend. That's your homegirl. You feel me? But as you get older, you're going to want to hang out, chill, talk about other situations, maybe share personal life stories. You're now grown. You may have a family. You may have children. You may going back to school. You may making these huge life, decisions. So with this, what are we going to do with it? How can we understand things that are tried and tested and true? What does that look like? What does it look like showing up for somebody? How often does somebody show up for you? How often do you show up for yourself? So it's going to be validity, reliability. That's the chart. The definitions of both. Give your understandings of that. And then get scenarios. Just let me look at it right now. Then at the end of this year, let's do next March of, what's this today? The 23rd, March 23rd, 2022, 23, excuse me. Let's look at where we were right now, and then let's look at our growths from this year to next year. That's our reliability and validity right there. Trying and testing resources. Resources are our experiences, this life, our experiences, this understanding of, you feel me, this world, this perspectives. That is our experiences. We are being exposed to so much, and it's really up to our experience. It's really up to ourselves to see the experiences, these exposures. All right, y'all. What's the ascendant? So where is this chart? Okay. Aries 16th degree. First things first, y'all, I did not have a chance to print out the chart because the printer is ironically down. And this is about, Pluto and Aquarius. So I just need us to be very mindful of our electronics, of like the connections of electronics. We may need to use those cords. You know how people be having like the Ethernet cords? Maybe it's HDMI. I really don't know. You feel me? I don't know. I can ask somebody, so you feel me? Whatever the cord is, we probably need to think about that. People may really talk about cordless, what is it called? Radios. Where is this at? We could really talk about this for real. We talking way before the ascendant, but I'm excited now. Pluto, ooh, yeah, radio. Ooh, it's giving that, what killed, TV killed the radio? Yes. Y'all remember that dance on Wii? But besides the point. Anyways, wireless radios, give me 1 second to be, fruitful. Where is Saturn at? My goodness. Okay. Ooh, yeah. The changes. Ooh, yes. Perfect. The changes of identities within the ages. I'm thinking more so like presentation, how people dress, how people looked, how people accessorize, makeup, how people put their makeup on. Ooh, their haircut. Ooh, skin. What's that? What would skin be? Would this be hygiene? Body hygiene, most definitely. Their feet, how they took care of their feet. Shoe industry. That gives me very, when people, the cobbler. Yeah. Ooh. Virgo. Yes, 100%. Yes, I like this because it also talks about small corporations and how the growth of them through the growth of population, through maybe, what is it, the trade of across seeds trades, maybe foreign trade. We start hearing about leather and the shoemaking process. I like this. This is very humbling, but this also allows us to know about once again, the growth process over time, the growth process of the mindsets of people and how they impact the style, the dress, the finesse, you feel me? How people understand themselves and caretake themselves, how people grow in general. I like this. This also makes me think about railroads and like the beginning process of real. Give me a second. Where's Mercury? Most definitely. It's the transportation of goods. This is Aries. Yeah. It's giving most definitely railroads. Yes. I like this. Okay, moving things, trading things by railroads. That's also very prevalent. But that's just a history that we are going to be seeing review. The growth of railroads, the growth of like community transportation, transportation, and the growth of like connections of other towns and cities. Other mindsets, that's the broadening of mindsets. That's the exposure. You feel me? Those are the experiences. And from that, you feel me? We learn a lot. People we want to be, people we don't want to be. What's reliable, what's valid, what you feel me? We learn a lot of personal values. We intertwine them from previous values from our home environment, and then we move out into other environments to just expand our knowledge and our wisdom. But once again, we're moving too far because we're supposed to be on the ascendant. So the ascendant is Aries 16 degrees, and Aries 16 is what? Okay, I like this. The forming of the identity and the cure. Wow. Okay, so when we already have an what is this, 4? I like this. Our identity, nurturing and caretaking of ourselves, and of like just identity in general, how a person identifies. 4. Wow. You know how like it's like giving the individual story out of the whole, and I like that. I like it because it talks about the matured version of oneself, but it also talks about 16, the continuous need to develop an understanding of the person that you are. And a lot of people this time, they get fixed in their ways, get fixed. And with that, when we get fixed, Aries is about continuous growth and movement. If we're huddled like this, doesn't it kind of go against the movement of oneself? Shouldn't we ask ourselves, why? Why not move? Why not initiate what? What do I need to continue growing? Maybe at this very moment when we're like this, we should ask ourselves, what do we need? What do I need to make me grow? What do I need? What do I want to experience? What new desires do I have that I want to try out? What is the inner spark in me? You know, what does the inner fire need right now? You need some charcoal, baby. You need some, where we at? Where we at? 26, baby? What is this, Capricorn? Why did I say Capricorn? What is this, 26? Aries? Oh, okay. Okay. 26 moon. I feel like you all need to ask yourself what needs to spark within you. What does a spark look like within you? But I'm reading this as the Pluto goes in Aquarius. So here we need to be very mindful about identities, the approaches of the identity. Whose approach is it? What's our own approach of our own identity? Okay. So if that's the approach, that's the understanding we're looking at, is maybe a fixed mindset. Maybe an already set mindset. You know, but when we're at this position, I always want us to always think about the mindset of like what previous values have you had? What previous values do you know? And how can you constantly intertwine them? The intertwining them can allow us to question, grow, test, and renew one's own faith in oneself. But also, to pick up the information that was left by previous people, by previous individuals, is using people's already initiated ways and keep them going. We need to understand how to keep going. And to understand how to keep going, we need to rest. We need to understand one's own personal need, understand that one's constantly growing and changing. So out of every month, I want us to think about what's one thing you want to acknowledge about yourself. You want to acknowledge about how far you've came, but I also want you to rest. Okay? Let's say that part. Alrighties. I want to sue. Where's Mercury at? Ooh, yeah. Shane? Oh, this is in the 12th house. Interesting. I like this. I like this a whole lot. Oh my gosh, bro. This is everything. So, whole time, we need to be very mindful of driving. Let's just quickly get into this because it's 21 minutes. We need to be very mindful of driving today, the 23rd. So, we need to be leaving a little early. We need to be mindful about, how people be like, just drive for yourself. No, you need to drive for you and everybody else on that road. You need to be more cautious driving, be more slower to, get agitated when driving. People cut you over. Be slow to react, speak, say something. That could be at home. That could be, you could have just a short temper in general. So now it's about the 26th. I'm going to stay to the 27th. When's the 27th? When is the 27th? Yes. Monday. Until next Monday. Just move slowly. Just slowly move. Think about using your energy wisely, strategically. Don't try to overextend yourself right now. Just finish a lot of things that you started. This would be a really good time to just finish things that you started. Review things that you started too, to be honest. If we don't really finish them, I want us to just think about them. At least, think about the perspective that you have. And then, in a couple weeks, look at it from a different perspective. Palace Athena conjunct Sirius. What's this? Dogs? 14? 15? Okay, if people at home has dogs, how do you spend time with your dogs? I want us to be very mindful of just, spending time with your dogs. Also dreams. Daydreaming at home. Be mindful of your daydreams. Yes. Your reactions, your emotions. I want us to think before we react. I want us to be very mindful of our throat. But the whole time, let's read this. Pluto is it's 0 degree and it's Aquarius and it's in the 10th house right here. After that, then we read the moon and sun. Pluto is. I like this. It all talks about using previous histories as your understanding, and a lot of times, to be honest, it's a lot of fixed mentalities. What do you do when someone's already fixed like this? What do you do? How do you engage? What if you're like this? That means we need to slowly but surely step out of situations. That means slowly react. But that also means we need to be very mindful of previous stories and situations playing out. We need to be very mindful. Interesting. I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this. We can eat this, to be honest. If we use the previous histories, understandings, developments, fulfillments, if we people got their own ideas and viewpoints and fulfillments of the world, you feel me? Once they do that, it's like a layer. They did the betterment for self, you feel me? The betterment for the society. So with this, you feel me? We can see, we should acknowledge their growth. We should acknowledge their developments, acknowledge what they put in. This Pluto and Aquarius, we need to be very mindful about the systems and how they have already, impacted the viewpoints of cultures, but have also cultures have impacted the viewpoints of the individuals. So individuals don't just go through, you feel me, this cultural process. They also have to go through this community process. They also have to go through this worldly process. So it's already 3 layers that's added on an individual. 3 extra layers. Cultural agreements, cultural mindsets, things that's already something that's already ingrained. And then the community, what everyone else's thought is, that's already, implemented. All the policies of the world, the states, all that's implemented into our identity. So how has that impacted the identity? How has that impacted the culture? How has that impacted the process and the growth of the culture? What about the abuse? What about the stories? What about the forgottenness? What about the parts of purpose erasure? I want us to be very mindful of wanting to relate to other people. I want us to think before we engage or react, we connect. I also want us to think long term about our goals, our own desires, and our own needs continuously, and that they're continuously changing. So move from that mindset. What does it mean to change? That means to be open to surrender. That means being open to, being accountable and, you feel me? I'm sorry, G, apologizing. But that also means transformations of the mind. And when one goes through transformation of the mind, it could be like jolts of awareness, jolts of like aha moments. That could also be a group of people changing their thoughts. What is that? I like this. It allows us to really see the mindsets and the identities and the approaches that systems is really built off of. Whose value is it? Whose idea is it? What does purpose really mean? You feel me? The redefinition of that. Purpose in each culture. You feel me? Each culture has their own understanding of growth, maturity, parenthood, connections of people. What's it called? Segregation of identities. connections of like, you know, different resources. Connection to different resources. When the ushering of the new or the different perspectives come in, we have to be open to surrender, to step in. We should be open to surrender, to step in. So we can learn to be in flow, right? I love you all. I love you all. Let's pull like some cards. I secretly want to pull these decks. I'm gonna pull. Jack of Diamonds, yeah. Who runs it? I like it. I like it a lot. Jack of Diamonds is very powerful because it allows one to, I don't want to say take it into account the own personal power that one has, but take it into account the own personal power that one has. Okay, let's talk about the moon. The moon is in the first house, 26 degrees. So I want us to be very mindful of vocally validating ourselves, realizing our own needs. Also, what makes you feel good outfit-wise? How do you see your body? What does seeing your body look like, mean to you? How do you see yourself? I want us to start working on our self-confidence. I want us to start working on our own understanding of what self-expression means right now. I want us to understand that and to be a little selfish with ourselves this year. Allow ourselves to see ourselves. Allow ourselves to see the crowd. And allow ourselves to slowly merge. You're going to be able to be strong enough to you feel me, to blend that expression within the crowd. What does that mean? When I think of that, I really think about the riots that would happen when Black people sat in facilities that weren't catered to them. Think of the different perspectives. I think of integration and segregation. I think of the growth or the development of understanding other people, other identities, others' awareness. That could be, for me, your culture sees jobs as this, and if you don't match up to this, you're seen as a failure. But really, what is a failure? What does it mean to continue growing and blossoming? But what does it mean to have a different perspective from the previous perspectives? Why is there shame when one steps outside the mold that everyone else's goes? What does it mean to, you feel me? It's silently giving, being singled out from like accepting one's own uniqueness and differentness. But maybe that looks like maybe the shame that each people went through because of that. Maybe how people, you know, isolated them and separated them, made them feel like they were different and, you know, weird. But isn't this a point where you can see like, you know, but I like that about myself. I like that. This also silently talks about the growth of sex, like the sex development. And what really thought about, let's talk about sex, baby. Okay, let's talk about TLC's album, Black Magic. Black's Magic. Let's talk about, oh, I'm so sorry. Salt and Pepper. Oh, please accept my apologies, Salt and Pepper. I am so sorry. Let's talk about Salt and Pepper, baby. Let's talk about their Black's Magic album, 1990. Let's talk about the growth of music, period. Let's talk about the growth of, Neptune is going to be on it 26. Let's talk about the growth of media, the growth of like identities and how people express themselves, how women express themselves. Let's talk about from Hollywood to now, how they did their hair, how they did their makeup, how they did their eyebrows, how they talked, how they expressed themselves, how they sexually liberation, how they talked about themselves. It's we're gonna talk about the moon, so we might as well get into it right here. The different conversations. Where's Scorpio at? There it goes. There it goes right there. There goes 8th house. Yeah. Chef kiss. Alrighty, so we minimally talked about the ascendant. We're gonna quickly talk about the 5th house. Black Moon Lilith. We always want to talk about Black Moon Lilith, because if we can understand the moon and Black Moon Lilith, we can understand how to move, baby, and our reactions and really the weight on situations. You feel me? Sometimes it'd be like, you know what, it's really not that big, but who all does it impact? And I don't want us to be in situations and, overly anxious. I always want us to be very mindful about situations so we can be forthright, so we can be understanding, so we can be honest, so we can spot situations and know how to move whole time. Know how to sidestep a lot of stuff. So, whole time, Black Moon Lilith in the 5th house. So we might, how do we express ourselves? What's that? Leo? You all like to dance? You all got fire there. Like play sports, probably basketball. Always looks like that. Yeah. Ooh, swimming. Ooh, what's that? It's giving like loud. You all like to relax? No. You all like to move around. You all have energy. You like to get out and you grunt when you get them out. I like that. You all like to weight lift. Oh yeah, most definitely. I see that you all go out to the gym. I like this. Oh, I understand one. Okay, so what does it mean to like we need to prep our meals. We need to set meal diets it's like we want stability in our emotions and our body. So to provide stability, let's be mindful of what we eat, how we're catering to ourselves, how we're nourishing our bodies, ourselves, that aspect, okay? That our consistent consecutive workout. Let's be mindful about pairing those two together, and also being mindful of the areas one wants to work out. I feel like sometimes we're like aimed on a goal but not sure how quite to meet that goal. That's that asking the right questions. So that picks up again, okay? Where's Mercury at, baby girl? There it goes. Nessus conjunct Neptune, conjunct Sun, conjunct Mercury, conjunct Chiron. Most definitely. Nessus, we should probably just talk about that from the whole standpoint. Oh yeah. 16? Okay. Yeah, we should be very mindful, people say. Make sure things match up. Actions, behaviors. They say they're going to do something, they're going to do something. Yes. Saturn, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Let's keep going. I feel like we're all over the place, and I'm so sorry, you guys. I just need to pick this up so everything can make sense. So the whole time we talked about Nessus conjunct Neptune. What's this, 25? Girl, yes. Be very mindful about the information that's being shared over social media, in the media in general, like the conversations that people were saying. Compassion. Authenticity. I like that. What do you judge as as authentic? What does authentic mean? How do you judge things that are authentic? You feel me? People be like, y'all, she got a fake bracelet. Well, get the little buzzer thing to make sure it's you gonna be fake or real. How do you judge authentic situations? You judge it by reviews. You judge it by the type of quality people put into situations. You judge it off of maybe what people are saying, so that could be like in the crowd. What do you judge situations? Or how do you judge relationships? How do you judge mindsets? How do you judge perspectives? How do you judge the relearning of self? Hmm. 16. Oh. Okay, you know how some people like don't share the full story until you're older because you will understand. People say things like that. Oh, you won't understand because you're young. This is one of the situations where we didn't. One, people wanted to shield people so they can have the ability to grow up and to make their own understandings and experiences and choices. But this is also silently not taking, not hearing the advice because didn't want to previously inflict harm or in pain or something. But that can really leave out a lot of stories. So I feel like this is a really good time people will be sharing other sides of perspectives that we need to think about and encounter and then put it in, you feel me, to understand the person as a full, also the situation as a full, and the understanding of how people had to survive, basically. What is survival meant in that understanding and that perspectives, and how can you use that previous resources, you feel me, as a benefit to you, as a resource to you, to use that as like, a now foundation, or now you feel me, to test it for validity and reliability. There it goes again. So you can understand situations to really find out if they're resourceful. Okie dokies. Neptune is the sun is in Pisces and it's in 2. We already talked about that. Be very mindful of what people are saying. Be very mindful of what you are saying. How quickly you react and respond to situations. Mercury. Yeah, for real. Be very mindful about that. I want us to really think about what we're going to say. Also, be very mindful like the slight pettiness that we can do. There's slight anxiousness in the mind, and if we relax, ask ourselves, what does relaxing mean to ourselves? First things first, how to relax our mind. And I need us to be very mindful, like with mind hallucinating substances. There also might be more conversations regarding mental health, as well as what is it called? Recovery and stabilizing rehabilitation. Areas. There would be more understandings about maybe the development of them, and maybe some of the back histories of what went on with patients. Yeah. Ooh. Also, we might hear some things about 16. History. Rewrite. Wait. Bro. 25. Bro, you ever situations only told from one side of the perspective. We need to be very mindful about that. We need to be asking those critical thinking questions. We need to really be implemented that video. I think it was the full moon video, the last full moon video. We need to really incorporate that. Okay, whole time. Moon. Moon is in the first house. It's 26 degree. Let's be mindful of fixed values regarding one's own self. You feel me? It's kind of giving hypocritical if we're not, mindful about that. It's kind of also giving like, oh, I want the best of other people, but only if the best, serves me. Like, what, girl? What? We need to think about the fixed values within maybe our understanding of women, our understanding of growth, our understanding of like need for nurturing. 26, changing of relationships, connections, wow, values, oof. Security, what's this, 26? Growth of the mind, money, Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. Okay, Aries, what's that? Jupiter conjunct Vesta. Okay. 19. Oh, okay. I got you. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, previous values impacted us and how we're going to use the understanding of it. We had to go through these experiences to learn this, most definitely. Aries 24. But, let's see. Oh, why do I have to keep constantly going through these situations? Okay, so if we need to pick up, what's this, 24, 26, most definitely. Oh yeah, Aries is feeling very homey here, most definitely. If we pick up the understandings of previous experiences and how they have shaped us, and maybe, you feel me, previous blowouts, you feel me, we can be mindful about that. But also, let's just be mindful about, there's silently like a feeling of rejection when people don't validate you or see you when you see them, and that can so with that, let's be very mindful of how people react to us. If people not giving us the energy, we're gonna be very mindful about that. Okay, if they don't give us the energy, peep it and keep going. But also, okay, women standing up for like, okay, I like this. The growth of women, the expansion of women, women's values, women's identity. What is this? Within policies, within the world, within. Okay, I like this. So we were just talking about the father. We really were talking about the deity, but the deity's here. It's reviewing. It's getting like disconnection with fathers, but that's also allowed fathers to see how they need to connect better with themselves, to connect better with, the continuous growing development of themselves, which could be children, but it also could be people. We as all are all trying to focus on surviving, and really right now is asking us how can we re-identify our viewpoints of surviving. That might look like, more so community partnerships, or engaging with like-minded individuals. So keep going to the moon. The moon is then conjunct North Node in 4 degrees. I like this a lot. This is all about, excuse me, our emotions can impact our growth. Our emotions can impact our growth, for real, seriously. We should use 26. Yeah, we should use our previous values as like literally stepping stools to allow us to build better foundations. This is Taurus. Yeah. It's really using previous understandings for growth. But also be very mindful about how we can use previous understandings and we get into that mindset like, I kind of like how they did that. Let me just remote it for myself. But is it for the growth of everyone else, or is it for the growth of you? That's what we should be mindful of in looking at it. Is the growth for everybody, for all the individuals? The identity, the ascendant is on Aries 16 degrees. You feel me? Aries, what's that, 4? The continuous foundation. People can be real fixed in their mindset. You feel me? That is real good for only a couple of people, but what about the whole? Let's see the perspective from only a couple people. So now how we going to intertwine these stories to benefit the continuous growth of self, the subconscious minds, the thoughts. Let's review the processes of situations. Let's review transformations to make sure that the previous awareness, whatever the previous awareness was, let's make sure they continuously add up. But let's make sure that we can review what the previous awareness was. So say, for instance, your grandparents said, you know what? I just want them to live a better life. So they ain't got to work too hard. So they did all this other work. You feel me? The physical labor. Maybe they went out there and then also went and got a degree. So maybe they started early, okay? Because they started early, you're able to then start early in school, right? Because they had all this money and all this land, you feel me? You now too have all this money and this land in this day and age. But what if they didn't have those resources? What if they didn't have those expansions and those experiences and those exposures? But what if they had others' experience and exposures, okay? What if they didn't have them? They brought something else. So what did you pick up from them? What did you inherit from them? And how you gonna, flip it, transformation, modify it for your benefit, for yourself. But also we need to be very mindful about power and abuse within situations, within laws, within policies. Who does this service? Is this outdated? Is this outdated? It also allows us to really see the perspectives of the people that's around us, the groups, the collective, the mindsets of the cultures, the communities, the intergalactic friendships. You feel me? This is a really good time period to see that. Do they match with yours? What's the continuous growth of self? What is the continuous growth of the individual within the situations, within the cultures, within the fulfillments, within the ideals of the world? Who are these people? Who are you? Alrighties. So, Black Moon Lilith. If we be very mindful about our own expressions and our own taboos regarding our development of selves, our connections to selves, our own sensual needs, our own inner power. It's given, to be honest, you feel me, like the connection of own inner power is shamed. That own inner fire, to connect to that, to strengthen that. That means growing trust and sturdiness within yourself. That's given, like, through trial and error, understand the growth and development of yourself. But this is also, it's giving morphing. Dang. That's a bad mouth. Shut your mouth. You feel me? My daddy would say that. Gee. But it's really giving, like, constant redeveloping of the, you feel me, of the identity. It kind of makes people feel uncomfortable because, you feel me, people be, yeah, most definitely, G. We need to be very mindful about the constant changing mindset of ourselves and use that to a benefit. Reflect often. Reflect often. Reflect often. Be very mindful of our emotions. Our emotions can sway. Be understanding of the swayness. We can also be really talking about period changes, how the environment impacts the person, in the moods of people. Also, how childhood experiences can impact how people react to situations, to people, to relationships. This can also silently be, to be honest, understanding that personal caretaking, that first layer, an understanding of love through parents, through cultures, that really impacted people. That really impacted, the growth and development of self, the self-expression, the self-understanding. Really the connection to self. And when we should be focusing on this, we were, there was a lot going on. But once again, that's under review, the development of child raising, development of connection to the inner child, the understanding of the inner fire, inner devotion. Witnessing inner strength. Women inner strength. I like this. This is also talking about like finding that inner libido, sensual expression. They could be also silently bottling it up. And when we bottle that up, that can really impact our emotions, right? That can impact our development of ourselves, our sensualness, our sexual needs, our sexual desires, our sexual appetite, right? Our own understanding to sex and the anatomy, the body, the women's body, you feel me, the reproductive systems. But that means we need to get to the bare and the root cause, right? Them cards is moving, dog. They want us to pick them up. We're going to pick them up. And last but not least, Pandora. 11,000. Okay, I like it. 23. Really? Aquarius? All right, you all. When we don't feel connected to the group, how does that make us feel? Like an outsider? It kind of makes me think about the giver, to be honest. But I want us to be very mindful about our internal needs, our internal desires, and how if we are, not really paying attention to our own internal needs, we're paying attention to other people's needs, that means somebody losing, right? I don't want us to lose. I want us to make sure that our internal needs are met so we can meet external needs. That means we might react a little bit when we feel off. So how can we understand our emotions, our internal needs, our internal selves? To understand what we need when we need it. So we understand, what to give ourselves, right? I love you all. All right, so we're going to pick these cards up. And it's 57 minutes. The whole time I was trying to make this video 15. Okay, it says love. It says divine abundance. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, jeez. Companionship and inner child. Okay. What does it mean to deeper connect to yourself and to your children? What does it mean to connect to your parents? What was childhood like for you? What is childhood like for your parents? What is childhood like for your grandparents? How has childhood changed? What's different perspectives? What could children do when they were children back then? What could children do now? How's those experiences changed? But what type of experiences are you willing to, implement, within your own life for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of your child? What does that look like? What does that mean financially? What does that mean, in real life, in real terms? What that mean? Oh yeah, we're gonna go to Disney World. Well, what does that child want to do? Maybe that child want to go to space camp. Let's understand them. That's sacrificing them ideals we already got. You feel me? To be like, people already have like color schemes. Where is it at? 16. People already get like pre-imposed definitions about the identity. Why? Because of previous understandings, dogmatic understandings. Where's Sagittarius at, babes? What's this? A 3-9. Just as I thought. Just as I thought. Just as I thought. Okay. So, period. Inner child, companionship, gratitude, individuality. Vocalizing our vulnerabilities. Even if it's not saying it to ourselves, we can, hold it within ourselves. We can be grateful to ourselves. How are we going to show ourselves nurturing? When we were a child, what do we see as an adult? What do we see as life? What do we see as, an understanding of being a mom, a dad? What do we see as doing with our life? You feel me? How do we connect the different portions? How do we continue to add joy into our life? What does that really mean? But what does it mean to continue to grow as a parent? Maybe we ain't parents. Maybe we, got, children that we are continuously assisting. Or maybe, people younger than us. But what does that mean to really just connect? That means playing with items and toys that you used to like as a kid. Maybe it looks like nourishing the self that you really need. Maybe little you always wanted them ducky shoes. Your mom was like, girl, ain't nobody get no ducky shoes. And was like, I'm gonna give me some ducky shoes. Yay. So you feel me? Them little wins for yourself, you feel me? It allows you to see that little inner version of you, yeah. But it also allows you to continue to see I don't know, this is like deep dives within yourself. But those deep dives also allows you to venture into other cultural identities. So maybe one of your cultural identity was you wanted to, I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe city identities. You feel me? Inner child says, allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. So when we're hurt, this is also kind of like taking a situation, like not taking situations personally as well, but I just wanted to say that. All right, the next one is companionship, and that relates to the inner child reconnecting to yourself. What does it mean to reconnect yourself? What does it mean to continuously grow and blossom? But that's continuously like, what is that love? It's past love. How can you give that to yourself? That softness, that understanding, that continuous devotion, even through ups and downs. What does that mean to be reliable and valid to yourself? It says giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift, even if the person is yourself. You are wonderful. Now is the time to figure out your wonderfulness, the different parts of yourself. Who are you? Your own values, your own morals. Gratitude says, okay, this is like inner child. This is heart for real. This is what I'm thinking, to be honest, sacral, throat, heart. This is a little purple, so this could be third eye. And that is seeing yourself, honestly. I like this. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. You all should uptake our water intake. Maybe sit more within calming and cooling environments. Maybe listen to water. When we're really heated in situations, listen to water. Drop, driplets. Maybe stretch, and that's those very moments. How can we extend ourselves to get what we need? And I'm really thinking about stretching, drinking water, rolling our neck, rolling our shoulders, safely, of course, because I'm not a doctor. I don't prescribe any of that stuff. I'm just letting you all know what, to move safely, what would help us. Gratitude says, fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever I go. May I be a vehicle for you. That's the continuous devotion. I love this. And individuality says, every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. Back in the deck, sacrifice you all. Okay. Yeah, cool head for real, for real. We need to really sacrifice that ego. We need to really sacrifice our own fixed mindsets about situations, about people. Who is it servicing? And groups and organizations and people and policies and corporations and, you feel me? When all those have fixed mindsets, who does that involve? Who does that impact? Impacts the individual. But when we also have fixed mindsets, it impacts us. It impacts our environment. It impacts the world. You see how that drizzled effect impacted, the domino effect impacted you, but how you rippled out impacted the situation. We need to have internal balance and external balance, but we also need to keep our mind cool and our reactions cool. What does that even mean? What does that look like? Sacrifice says, sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice for love. I love you all.